Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binaries of all ages, welcome to the show. If you're here to learn character creation the right way, you've come to the wrong place because we are making cat characters. This is how to make a literal cat in your favorite RPG. I am Joel Holland, one of your hosts.
I'm Austin Irwin, the second host.
And I'm Mr. Ray, the third host.
Oh.
I'm sorry, was that not my line?
No, you're good.
It's all good. It's all good. But yes, we have with us Mr. Ray, who some of you may know from the podcast $2 Creature Feature. At least that's where I know him from.
Oh, you listen? I didn't know.
Yeah, I listened to $2 Creature Feature. I'm catching up on it, at least.
Oh, well, I'm incredibly flattered. If you make it through the first season, then it pays off. I like to think.
I'm working through the first season, at the very least.
Awesome. Well, thank you for listening.
Yeah. But you may also know Mr. Ray here because he makes RPGs, one of which we're going to be covering today. Would you like to talk a little bit about your role-playing experience?
Yeah. So I started out on the West End Games Star Wars RPG. I started out on that, really fell in love with role-playing. And then after that, I got into D&D 3.5 with some friends at my church, which is really weird in the Midwest, but I digress. And then from there, in college, a buddy of mine and me played Mutants and Masterminds 2E, like a ton. And then I went to work for Walmart, and I met a guy who was, in the back room unloading trucks, and he invited me to play indie games with him. And that's where I got to play Rewired, which is a game by the Chaos Grenade, R.E. Davis. And I fell in love with indie games. I didn't realize, you could just go out and make your own games. And I really fell in love with that. And from there, I just started creating my own games on my own. I made my very first game was Goons in Toyland, where you play, it's kind of like a mashup of Toy Story and the Spiderwick Chronicles. So there's a little bit of Fae in it. There's a little bit of, little mushroom people. But your main goal as a toy is to protect your kid from the boogeyman.
That sounds very fun.
Yeah, it's a very fun, very creative little game. I made it, and it was like, at the same time, the pandemic struck, and I got lumped in with a group doing a charity fundraiser, and we raised I think we raised like $15,000 in charity funds for kids who were going to the hospital and needing activities to kind of help them through the pandemic and whatnot. So we helped raise stuff for that. And then I made this game, Dethrone the Divine. It was, I borrowed a system framework that the Chaos Grenade, Russ Davis made. And it's called Awesome DPS, or Dice Pool System. And so it just uses just a dice pool, kind of like World of Darkness sort of games. It's meant to be a love letter towards that. And then from there, I started making a ton of one-page RPGs.
All right.
But in this game's particular, during the playtest, is where I met my current cast of $2 Creature Feature, except for Megan. But Sam, Sam, who is my fellow producer, Lauren made a hysterical dragon pigeon in it. Nye played Puck, and then Morgan, who is in the first season of $2 Creature Feature, played Sir Kellyan Crop, or like a god of, conspiracy theories and circles in the crops kind of thing. So, nice. Yeah, but we had a really good energy together, and from there we kind of sprung out into playing Monster of the Week and making our own show.
All right.
That's awesome.
And it is a show. Y'all should check it out. But yeah, today we are going to be going through character creation in Dethrone the Divine, which was, yes, made by Mr. Ray here. As I'm sure y'all know, we will have to go through the character creation system as described in the book. If we're required to break any rules to play as just a regular old cat, then we'll do that. But we have our rules that we can't break because they are the show's format. And if we break the show's format, then we don't have a show.
Yeah, what are we even doing here?
Exactly. Not that the show's rules can't change over times, but what we've got right now, we got to stick with because we're mid-episode and we can't change them in the middle of an episode.
I'm gonna add an 8th rule: no rules.
Oh no! What? Oh no! Oh no! What have you done? You've undone everything, and
all of our hard work gone.
So, the first rule is we accept no cop-outs. We're making a cat. It's the exact animal that comes to mind when I say the word. It's not an anthropomorphic race, not a person turned into a cat, not something disguised as a cat, not a lion, tiger, or some other cop-out. What's a lynx? There.
And not one of those hairless cats either. Those things are weird.
We've made a hairless cat before.
Oh, never mind. It's totally fine. Don't mind me.
They're still cats.
The nerve of me walking in here making up rules on the spot for your show.
And I thought you said you listened.
I do listen.
I'm joking.
Just didn't listen to the Star Wars episode.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, it's all good.
All right. Rule number 2. Homebrew isn't real. If the rules do not explicitly allow something to happen, it counts as a rule broken. And if we come across a rules as written versus rules as intended situation, like I believe we did last episode.
We come across those almost
true,
every episode.
We do come across those almost every episode. But we go with whichever one says no.
Yep. And rule 3, if the game includes stats for a literal cat, those must be used or adapted to the game's character sheet. Is that the case with this game?
I don't believe I put in like a suggestion for a cat. Like there aren't specific stats for a cat. There are. I am mistaken. I have put in some build ideas of like some cats that or animals that you can make or gods that you can make, and one of them is Cornflake the cat.
Well, there's our starting point. If the since the game comes with cat stats, then we'll have to adapt off that.
All right.
Awesome. I think that's the first time this happened.
Yeah, we haven't had an actual stat block for a cat since the pilot.
Yeah. We'll get to that in a minute. But continuing with our rules, rule number 4 is the character, class, background, playbook, job, what have you, has to exist in the game's core rules or as part of an official expansion. We cannot use homebrew classes. Homebrew isn't real. Sorry to break it to you like that.
Yep.
I would honestly be surprised if there are homebrews of this. I'll say that.
Well, I just that kind of came about because I didn't want someone coming in here and saying, well, technically it's not breaking a rule if you just call it homebrew.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I feel you on that.
Rule number 5. The cat can learn any skill available to its class. We once had a cat that could seal away superpowers. We've had a cat that could pilot a ship, etc., 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 because it has to be able to do whatever its class says it can do.
Exactly.
There is exactly one exception to this rule.
Wait, which exception?
Rule 6.
Oh, yeah. Rule 6 is if a tool would be physically impossible for a literal cat to use, even if comically downsized for them, they cannot use it. So we're talking, lots of things. I think I've said jackhammer before. I try to think of new things every episode, and my mind just kind of like went blank. Can opener, pizza cutter, a spatula. All I got is kitchen utensils right now, guys.
I'll bet a cat could work a spatula if you trained it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I know cats can play the piano. I've seen plenty of evidence on the internet of such.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's on the board. So don't worry, people out there.
And finally, we have to keep track of all the rules that we break. So, with that out of the way, let's get into the character creation. I don't see a table of contents, so where does that start?
I was just on the page and then I scrolled down. It starts on page 8.
Page 8. Character creation. What do you know? Alright, so the first thing we've got to do is come up with a name and concept. And we've already got a concept, so...
Here, I will share my screen for you too.
Oh, that would be appreciated.
Fun to block.
I want you guys to see my great form fillable document.
Wow.
I tried to set it up like the provided character sheet.
It's actually pretty impressive.
It's very impressive. I'm always happy to see people make their own character sheets because I'm like design is one of my weakest points. So I fully invite anybody who can make it look prettier to go ahead. And somebody did that actually, but
Nice.
yeah.
I would make one if I knew how to make a form fillable PDF, but alas, I do not.
It's okay. It's a common problem.
I'll figure it out one of these days. Learn the secrets.
One day we'll learn the ways. Our concept, I'm assuming we're going with a cat.
Yes.
That was my thought, yeah.
All right. Easy. Done.
Yep, that's it. Thanks for listening to the show.
What kind of cat are we thinking?
The only thing I can think of is Calico, but I feel like we've done that one too many times.
Have you made a Manx cat?
A minx?
Manx. M-A-N-X. Yeah, M-A-N-X. They are cats that do not have tails.
Oh, no, we have not.
I'm quite partial to them. My parents love to collect these kinds of cats, so I'm gonna suggest we make a Manx cat.
All right,
Fine by me.
definitely fine by me. All right, so we got a Manx cat. Do we want to give this cat a personality? Do we want to have that come in later? That might be more like a trait thing.
It might come up a little bit later.
Okay.
Just because special traits and the kind of origin for the cat, our little cat god. So I'd say let's put a pin in that.
All right. Up next, we have a name.
Are there naming conventions for this game?
No.
That's a good question.
The name is entirely up to you. The concept I kind of went for this game is very much American Gods-esque. So, whoever your god is may have been somebody important a long time ago, but now they're kind of just this reinvented version of themselves. So they can have just a different name. You may have been Raw in the past, but now you're AOL, or the embodiment of AOL. Because, it's still got that great eye.
Now you're Ronald McDonald.
Oh, that's good. Just gotta write that down for my next game.
By all means.
I think per our rules, this cat in the great distant past was a cat.
Mm-hmm.
That's just been its thing the whole time. Because otherwise, it's not a literal cat.
That's fair. Yeah.
But what do we call it? Mittens.
Mittens?
I was literally that was on the tip of my tongue. I was like, is Mittens too obvious? I don't think so.
To be fair, we've never had a cat with I don't think we've ever had I don't want to say basic name. Sorry to anybody out there who has a cat named Mittens. But I don't think we've ever...
I am fine with people naming their cats Mittens. I have more of an issue with people who name their cats Paul or Betty.
Yeah.
Which is totally a thing.
This is human Paul.
Yeah.
Not on cat Paul.
Yeah, why? Why would you give a cat a man or a woman's or a person's name?
Well, sometimes it suits them.
True.
I can't remember what Sir Meowington's code name was all of a sudden, but it was a regular guy's name.
Oh yeah. Shoot.
If a listener has a picture of a cat that just gives off Paul energy, please send it my way. I just want to see this.
Make sure you also email it to us at literalcatpod@gmail.com.
Absolutely.
We need to see.
Yeah.
Inquiring minds want to know. But yeah, let's just name it Mittens.
Let's go for it. Mittens. All right. What gender is our cat? What's our character's pronouns?
Is Mittens more of a boy cat or a girl cat name? Or is it just generic enough that it doesn't matter?
I think it's generic enough to me. But I'm always in favor of going with the she/her pronouns for a cat.
All right,
that's fair.
Let's do it.
All right.
And then next step is attributes.
Yes. And we already have a stat block pulled up. Let me scroll down to the page. So in my copy, which I think is the one you have,
probably,
it's on page 18.
Build ideas. Brick. Cornflake the cat.
Yeah. By the way, my parents got a cat for my grandmother, and my grandmother named it Cornflake for some god-awful reason. I don't understand why.
Did it look like a cornflake?
No, it was like Well, it was an orange Manx. It was like a ginger Manx cat.
Huh.
And for some reason, she named it Cornflake, and its name swiftly got changed.
You called it Ginger Snap since it didn't have a tail.
Oh, that'd be good. No, they named it. There was two of them, and they were twins, and my parents called them Fred and George after the Weasley twins.
Ah.
And I fully realized I just went on this huge rant about giving it normal names, so yeah, never mind.
Anyway, so if we're saying that the template character is our cat stat block, that means that we have might 1, grace 6, skill 5, aura 2, and spirit 3.
Awesome.
And that's the attributes part, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Cool. I'm just going to read this off real quick for the benefit of the listener who may or may not have played this game. Might is your strength stat. Basically, grace is dexterity, dodging, flexibility. Skill is basically like, instead of having like a whole bunch of different things that your character could be good at, it's one attribute to like cover basically any task that might have specialized knowledge. You'll make a skill roll to see if you have that knowledge or that skill to pull it off. Aura, y'all kind of know what aura is. It's like your vibes, your
Charisma, kind of that.
Yeah, that thing.
Tell me there are people out here who can't see other people's aura.
It's just that je ne sais quoi. And if I could have found a way to abbreviate that, I would have just put that instead of aura, but
understandable. And then finally spirit, which is your magic stat.
Yeah. Yep, that's it.
Yep.
Awesome.
It says that it's the most difficult of the 5 attributes to explain, but then the very next sentence is spirit is magic.
That's yeah.
Got it in 3 words.
Yeah, it's a skill, I guess.
All right, now we're on to traits. So traits help define your character and differentiate them from other adventurers. It expands on characteristics such as what a character is good at, what connections they may have, or other advantages they may have. So that would be, we've got examples of qualities, backgrounds, relationships, or other special traits or unique abilities, which give you access to special dice, I guess.
Yes. It can help out your rolls, and even like it's meant to be used narratively. So, some gods might have a good relationship with a normal person, and that person can kind of sort of act on your behalf, like work as basically a your own toady or your own follower to do actions while you have to focus on something else.
All right. So what, you get 4 traits to start with, it says?
Yes, and yeah. And you can use one of the following to kind of help you out, or like you can use like 3 qualities, which are just like common descriptors of like what your character is like. Are they witty? Are they outspoken? If they have a special background, like to give an example, Shadow Moon in the American Gods series, like he has a background in like pulling cons. So whenever he's pulling a con or a grift, like he's gonna have just a little more of an advantage when doing that.
Gotcha.
All right. You want to just try and do one of each?
Sure.
Yeah, that works.
So, a quality. What kind of qualities does a cat have?
Clever.
Clever?
Yeah, cats
I would say clever.
Yeah, that's what they say. Clever like a cat.
I don't know about my
Do they say
cat.
that?
My cat's quality is he's just lazy. He's literally over there sleeping on one of my sweatshirts.
And hey, that works as well. Some cats just totally vibe off of, being present and being adorable.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. My cat is very adorable.
Okay, so what about a background? What would be a good background for a cat that has some kind of divine spark?
Maybe like raised in a church or near like a holy site.
Yeah, that could work. I mean, I was thinking, if they were a former stray cat, they may have, contacts in the alleys or whatnot. Kind of like
Maybe.
DC from That Darn Cat has like these contacts of people on his route. I think I'm getting more into relationship, but
Perhaps.
It could be a little of both.
yeah.
Yeah. So background could be like raised on hollowed ground or something.
Yeah, that works.
Mm-hmm. Welcome back to another episode of Can Austin Spell a Certain Word? I think that's right.
Hallowed. Did you spell it with an A?
Yeah.
Okay, I think you spelled it right then.
Hallowed ground. I gotta Google.
You're Googling ground?
Yeah. Hallowed ground. Ground which has been hallowed or consecrated. Thanks, Google.
Okay, so is it spelled with an A?
It
I
is
know this
spelled with
sounds-
an A. I
Okay,
spelled
good.
it right.
Okay, good. Which is, yeah, completely different from hollowed ground, which is where they cut out the inside of the ground. And
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Don't want to get raised there, because then that's just.
you need to watch your step.
So I do like the idea though of like for a relationship maybe back alley connections.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm thinking of this into like how I would phrase what you said earlier as a City of Mist tag, but I think it works.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Back alley connection. And then our last one is a special trait.
Yeah, so typically these are it's a unique ability or an item that can be used to give you access to your divine dice, which divine dice like help you get more advantage whenever you're rolling. Like it can give you all kinds of special effects. For Thor, like it can be his hammer can be what channels his energy. It's iconic for him. He can use it to intimidate. Same with Poseidon and his trident and Song Wukong's magical staff. But I mean, you can come up with other things as well. Like for dragons, they may have their own scales whenever they transform, or a magical breath weapon, something like that.
What kind of special trait would a literal cat have? We give him the baby doll eyes.
Yeah, that Puss in Boots like stare you in the eyes and
Yeah.
just yeah,
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
that's really good. I like that.
We got baby doll eyes. Put like coercion, maybe.
Yeah, that works.
Wow, 2 episodes of Can Austin spell this word, and that's definitely not right. I see the red squiggle pop up.
Our audience is gonna love playing this game with you from their audio medium listening device.
Yeah,
Right.
I know. It doesn't work out super well. Somebody out there is just like a word whiz and is like, I know what happened.
Hey, don't look at me. I'm dyslexic, so I am glad I'm not the one writing stuff.
All right, and then the next step is domains.
Yeah, so domains are like those like signature areas that a cat is like divine over or god over. So like whenever you think of, as I was saying with like Thor, you automatically associate him with thunder and lightning, with using his hammer, drinking, like that's Thor's thing. So what would our cat's like thing be? Like why would people want to give worship to this cat other than, it's a cat?
That is a good question.
And we should have 2 domains. They can be physical elements such as storms and fire, or they can be concepts like diplomacy or music or art. And in some cases, they define the character's qualities, but domains will be vague enough to be interpreted in several different ways. This is just to really help out players. That way, whenever you're at the table and you want to argue for using your divine dice in a certain action, you can be like, well, this falls right under my domain because, there's air or something like that.
All right. I'm just looking at what you put for Cornflake the cat real quick, and it says cleverness and intelligence. I don't know if that gives us any ideas here, because we've already used cleverness as a descriptor for this cat.
Yeah. So, I mean, we could flip it around and take it to the next step to where, he's not only clever, he's a trickster. So he's got domain over trickery or, pranks, chaos, maybe.
I like that.
Okay. And then naps.
Naps. Oh my gosh. I'm going to set up a church today. I require a siesta every day at work because it's my religion.
So are we saying this cat has like spiritual power, like over dreams and stuff? Like if somebody's napping nearby, they'd be like, "Ooh, let me see what's going on in there. Let me tap in."
Yeah, that could absolutely be a thing this cat could do.
Perhaps, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the next part is the origins, and this is kind of where the cat comes from, as far as like its divinity, because there are some gods who come from ancient mythologies coming into modern day, And then there are some gods who are born out of modern conventions, such as you have like living idols, which are more typically for like life being breathed into an object. But you have like animal gods, which I think is Cornflake's example, which I really love this idea because I came up with it, of course. But, we all have these animals on social media that we follow who are just, doing adorable things. Maybe their person is like narrating it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like that can totally be transferred into like our cat, if you'd like. Or they could be, well, no, this would break the rule. I was going to suggest a dragon that's like hiding as a cat, because in this mythology that I have for the books, dragons were the gods of dinosaurs, and that just over time they've hidden into different forms. But that wouldn't work.
I like your idea of like people kind of like worshiping all these photos and everything online.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of goes into like the dreamscape to kind of like have this collective thought that all cats online are great,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
I love that.
So, per this game's rules, I know there was at least at one point in time a group of college kids who maintain a shrine to Danny DeVito. Would that make him a living idol per the game's rules?
Yeah, his shrine could be considered one. Honestly, like there could also just be a new god, which is, so there is Danny DeVito, like the person, but there's also another Danny DeVito out there that is like the god Danny DeVito.
It's bold of you to assume Danny DeVito isn't just straight up a god.
Well, I mean, I know he's the devil in that show, like Son of Satan or whatever it was, Child of
Oh, yeah,
Devil Child, something. Yeah,
something like that.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know what you're talking about, but I also cannot remember the name. Is it Little Devil? Is that
yeah?
it?
I think it's Little Devil. Basically, Danny DeVito plays Satan. Aubrey Plaza plays a woman who had relations with Satan, and then Danny DeVito's daughter plays the child between the two of them. And the child's like the Antichrist is coming into her own, and so Satan's trying to make these like fatherly bonds with her so he can help him take over all of the cosmos or whatever. It's a hilarious show. Very sacrilegious, but so yeah, anyways, our cat, animal god. So whenever you take on an origin, you get certain kind of perks to go along with it. So already our cat's aura goes up 1 point.
Okay.
They also get a second form.
For being a living, for being a living idol.
For being, are we going living idol or are we going animal god?
If we're doing the like the dreams of the people on the internet worshiping, we could do animal god though. Like,
yeah, I mean,
it would be the most literal example.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like living idol kind of works because it's like gods that are made by the power of love, need, or belief. And I mean, people love cats on the internet.
Yeah. Yep.
They sure do.
Yeah, that works. We could definitely go with the living idol. That's fine by me.
What do you think, Joel?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so I apologize. So the perks of being a living idol is you get +1 to grace.
So that puts our grace at a 7.
You choose 2 different age groups between kids, teens, adults, etc. You gain +1 dice when dealing with one and -1 dice with dealing with the other. So like,
I think young adult, we should definitely get a +1 to young adults, right?
yeah,
Teens to young adults, like.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna argue for the opposite. I think adults to older adults might love the cat, but like the younger generation thinks that videos from the cat are cringe.
Ooh,
Oh.
that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Because
Yeah.
if I see a cat video now, most of the time it's just like, okay, what's going on here? And if
Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad, for sending me this. Yeah, I appreciate it.
yeah, like, okay, yeah, great. I love seeing all of our cats do their thing, but I got other stuff going on.
Yeah.
I got bills to pay now, Mom. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think of that.
Yeah. But I mean, kids, like I know my kid loves cat videos, so it could just be that it's off-putting to adults. Because, us millennials, we're all millennials, right? I'm assuming a lot.
I am. I think
Uh,
Austin might not be.
I'm in that weird group where people can't decide. I was born in '98, so everybody's like, "Are you a millennial? Are you Gen Z?" And I'm like, I don't know.
I am confused.
I usually decide it like this. Do you remember a time when there was no internet?
I see. Part of me wants to say yes because I grew up in the country.
Okay,
So
that's
for
fair.
the first probably like 7 years of my life, I didn't have internet, but it was around. Like I had, heard whispers and rumors of this great thing called the internet.
That's very fair. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't, but
But I did in my middle school years play an ungodly amount of RuneScape on dial-up internet connection.
oh wow, okay, yeah. Then your guess is as good as mine. Never mind. What are rules, anyways?
Yeah, we're going with adults -1, kids +1, I guess.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
I think that
Okay.
works.
And what is the next step here? Following and fear. Or no, but health and mental results. Sorry.
Okay. So health is determined by adding might and grace together.
All right.
So it looks like our health
8.
is 8.
And then our resolve,
which is a character's stubbornness, is skill and aura.
So 7.
7. Nice.
Is that it for health and resolve?
Yes.
All right. Now we're on to following and fear.
Yeah.
There we go. So following rank is used literally to give the divine more of an oomph. It is the deciding factor that separates the divine from talented spellcasters. The scales of following and fear balance how a divine should act. So, here we go. The following rank is determined by the guide at the beginning of the session.
Yeah.
This gives players an idea of how you are viewed by the world as a whole.
Oh, I was going to say the main idea I was going with here is that this is as close as you get to like having a level in the game. This kind of gives players an idea of, how important they are to the world and just how big of an influence they are on things.
Okay. You think it would be smart then to say, like, we have a following rank of 1?
Yeah. Yeah, we're just starting out.
Okay.
Following 1?
Yep.
Rank
And then fear. Fear is a measure of how exposed the divine is. Fear is measured by 0 to 5. 0 means the world has no idea the divine character is physically manifested. 5 means the world is fully aware and their fear can turn the divine mortal. If a divine has reached a rank 5 fear, the world will unite to take them down.
That's incredible, actually. I'd love to see that play out in a game.
It's fear was kind of a tool that I put in because I realized that there's really nothing stopping players from being as openly godly as they want to be, and that's really what you don't want to happen. So, like, I know in Mage they have a mechanic for manifesting your abilities. Like, you can't like openly spellcast or else reality is going to snap back on you. This is like the equivalent in this game.
All right. I don't think I've read through any of the World of Darkness books.
I've started because I really desperately want to play a game, but there's so much lore you pretty much need to know, and I ain't nobody got time for that.
Oh,
isn't Vampire basically the only one that's still like getting new stuff anyway?
I think so. I know they're working on a new version of Werewolf as well, but
ooh,
yeah. But I just went on their site like probably 4 months ago, and they're like, "Yeah, Werewolf new edition is coming out sometime." So
it's coming, guys. Believe us.
It's coming. It's totally coming. Just like I've been meaning to write an expansion for this book for years. So I can't be too
I don't feel too bad.
Yeah.
I wrote a like 4 or 5. I don't remember exactly how long it was. About at least half the length of this one, maybe less. Game called Defense Engineers, and I was immediately going to follow it up with a game called Attack Engineers, which had you playing as like the opposite side. And I still haven't done it. That was back in 2018.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not like there hasn't been a huge event between 2018 and now.
There's nothing that could have
comes to
stopped you.
mind.
I mean, I was in college at the time, taking classes that were getting progressively harder. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's not a matter of when it comes, just as long as it eventually gets there.
You got time. You're living life.
Yeah.
yeah, what's 7 years late?
Exactly.
Hey,
God.
you know what they say? Better late than never. And they never define how late is. So, 7 years late. Look at James Cameron right now.
Exactly.
This man released a sequel like 15 years later.
If James Cameron could come out with a sequel to Avatar so much later, then yeah, you have all the time in the world.
Honestly, that movie was supposed to come out in 2015, and I'm glad it got held off as long as it did.
Yeah.
There was no stopping it, but I think we managed to do a pretty good job of delaying it. Not that I had anything personally to do with it.
My question is that I know this is veering way off topic, but my question is it going to be kind of like how when the first Avatar came out, where it's like, because I've already noticed nobody's talking about it, just like the first Avatar. Nobody talks about it. There are no memes. There's no like ad campaigns that I've seen besides like the one trailer that got released.
Yeah.
Nobody's like raving about it online. Same thing happened.
Is it already in theaters?
Yes, it came out last weekend.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's like, I know it's gonna be bad. Like, it's not just like funny bad. It's just gonna be either really bad or middling at most. Like, those are my expectations for it, because there have been no memes. Morbius got memes. That's what's good about Morbius, is it has memes. But Way of the Water, there is nothing. And
that's the thing.
That is
nobody talked about the first one, and it became like one of the highest grossing movies of all time. And I wonder if that's going to happen with this, where it's radio silence and it just rakes in dough.
If it becomes,
I don't know.
If Way of the Water like breaks its like the previous box office records, then I'll eat my shoe. I'll be honest. That's where I'm at.
Here's the thing. Like, Avatar, the first Avatar, actually did have like a bit of a moment in the cultural spotlight, and that moment was while it was in theaters and not a second longer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Unless, like, it's like the Parks and Rec, where they did like, hey, could you bring 3D glasses and a 3D TV so we can watch Avatar? Like, yeah, like that's
yeah.
And the longer that joke goes, like, the funnier it gets.
Yeah.
But like, now you're gonna get me on a rant. Like, this movie doesn't bring anything new to the table. It brings water and stuff that's under the water. Like, wow, ooh, okay,
ooh, crazy.
Yeah, but you know what? If you want to see like freaky stuff underwater, James Cameron already did this movie. It's called The Abyss. Go watch it. It's actually good.
If you want to see sad stuff underwater, James Cameron also did a movie called Titanic.
Did we ever actually determine our fear stat?
No. Starting out, it should be 0. I'm sorry, nobody should be aware.
It's got to be 0.
Yeah, it's one of those things that'll get raised up like during the campaign.
Okay, and then finally gear.
Yeah. So characters should start out with at least 5 pieces of gear. I'm not sure if this is going to work out so well for a holy cat, but yeah, it should be different from like the specialized item that we listed in the traits, which we didn't pick a specialized item. So these are things that a cat would probably like logically have access to.
I see that the Cornflake the cat stat block does not have gear recommendations.
Yeah, it did not, because well, I don't think I put gear recommendations on any of these suggested stat blocks.
No, you didn't.
Oh, well, that's an oversight by me.
Yeah. Well, I guess, guys, we're about to make the official gear list for
Cornflake the cat.
One of these builds.
Yeah. I think definitely there should be like a collar with a bell on it or something. Like, cats need that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they don't like it, but it's part of the look.
Yeah, yeah. And I think Mittens would like it because, it kind of announces Mittens' like appearance.
Arrival.
Oh
Yeah.
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 Mittens seems like the type of cat that like really likes to strut into a room, make her presence known.
Yeah, well, I mean, she was raised in a church. Like I'm sure she probably has it in her head that everybody comes on Sunday mornings just to see her.
Oh yeah, she's sitting up at the front in like one of the first pews, and everybody just pets her on the way by, and she's like, "Yeah, this is for me."
Oh my god, I love her. She's just like sitting on somebody's lap as they're like falling asleep in the middle of the sermon. She's like, "Yes, this is where my worship is."
Absolutely, I feel like I would have paid more attention when I went to church if there was a cat there.
Yeah, like if you're
Yeah.
if you're in the clergy listening to this, put a cat in your church. Like, do that.
Unless half your congregation is allergic, then don't do that.
That's fair. That's a fair point.
That's also a fair point. Counterpoint: they make epidermic needles for a reason, so
You'll be fine.
you'll be fine. What other gear would this cat have?
And does the gear have to be stuff they carry with them?
No, no.
Okay, that makes this so much easier.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it could be something like,
The catnip stash.
exactly, or like a camera or something like that, so that maybe the cat's posting its own videos on social media.
Oh well, Can a
Laptop
ca-
with webcam.
can a cat successfully use a laptop and post on social media?
We know they could operate a keyboard
Yeah,
with proper training.
That's true.
yeah.
As for the mouse,
Ooh.
Oh, the mouse is in trouble.
I mean, I was about to say, cats are great at mice. What do you mean?
I don't know. Do we want to say laptop with webcam?
Okay, how about this? If the laptop is just like running like a stream full time,
Which
Like,
is a thing.
yeah, like they have like the fish that played Pokemon on Twitch, or like they have like duck feeders on Twitch that are like cams set out in the wilderness.
Yeah.
You just drop bread.
Yeah.
Okay, so constantly streaming laptop. Does this cat take this laptop everywhere with them though?
No, it could.
I don't think they could.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could just be set up in this church that Mittens lives at.
Yeah, like a spot that Mittens frequents.
Exactly.
They've got like a whole like little nook set up for her. So
Oh,
she can
yeah.
just lay down.
Yeah, little Mittens cam.
I still like the idea of the secret catnip stash.
I do as well.
I like that. That's what Mittens does off cam.
Yeah. Just goes behind, in the green room and just.
And it goes with the back alley connections where he thinks she gets it.
Exactly. But, it also says we're supposed to find 5 items of gear, but we don't have to find them all. Like, you can leave it open to get at a later time.
Gotcha. We could probably leave a couple open for, whoever wants to play this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't played the cat game that just came out. Like, that's in the cyberpunk future, so I don't have...
Stray.
Yeah, I haven't played Stray, so I don't have a ton of, like, ideas of what kind of gear a cat would have.
That game doesn't really give you gear. You get a drone that rides around on your back.
Okay.
And it can kind of do things, but yeah, the cat itself doesn't really get gear.
Yeah. So for a character like this, I would highly recommend, if you were to play Mittens, as soon as you can, try to get a human follower, because they could like really help expand your Mittens' religion or Mittens' faith in followers and whatnot.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
makes sense.
Wander into a concert, get posted on Ariana Grande's Instagram.
Exactly. All right.
What is up next? Or is that it?
I think that's
it. I think
enough of the creation. So I think our next rule, if I remember right, is to start talking about lore,
I'm a lover of lore.
especially when it comes to cats.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
we are all about the cat lore here. So let's see. What is our lore then?
Let me see here. So what we've said about Mittens is Mittens grew up on hollowed ground, and the other thing we talked about is Mittens has these back alley connections. So I'm kind of picturing an Oliver and Company kind of deal, except Oliver didn't get adopted by the rich family. Mittens was just out surviving and doing the best that she could. And, there may have been a lonely preacher or some sort of clergy who just kept seeing Mittens like making the rounds every day by the church and decided to give Mittens a home.
All right.
And then from there, the probably older trying to think of the right word for people who attend church. Congregation.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'm guessing like just the adult, or what is Mittens like 2 age groups?
Adults and kids.
Yeah, so the kids probably saw Mittens and just instantly fell head over heels. There may have been just a small, fundraiser to make sure Mittens gets all of her shots and prettied up, and she got maybe just a little chonky. But
Maybe.
yeah, but then the kids thought that it was very cute to have Mittens there, and so they set up this Mittens stream online, and it's just now starting to pick up steam.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So Mittens found by a clergyman, brought into a congregation, and given a more luxurious life.
Absolutely, yeah. As she deserves.
He was set up to show off Mittens to the world.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty.
So we got lore.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of lore.
Same here.
We are lore appreciators in this podcast.
Absolutely. I didn't watch a 4-hour-long video about Destiny lore for nothing.
Okay, so now I have a question for you all.
Yes?
Is Mittens the strongest character that you've made so far?
I don't know. It's not even the first cat we've had with divine powers.
Oh?
It's true.
Yeah, the Relic episode comes out in, next week?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we've had an angel cat before, but now we're going to have a god cat.
Yeah. And in Mittens' defense, Mittens is a minor god, but...
Yeah. Plus, you gotta understand, or not understand, you gotta, I guess, define your definition of power, because, we also just had a cat that could pilot a ship and had a gun.
Yeah.
And that's pretty powerful.
That is fairly powerful. I'll give you that.
But I feel like on a cosmic scale, this might be our strongest cat.
I mean, technically, the cat did not have the cat gun. It just had training that would give it access to the tools to build itself the cat gun.
That's fair. Lots of stipulations we've given to the cat gun.
Yes. But the point is, the cat has the ability to make itself the cat gun.
That's really only...
That was the Kaiju Incorporated episode.
Is it the Catling gun? Eh?
No, we've just called it the cat gun. It was a joke we made when we started recording episodes, and then 7 episodes later, we got to actually make a cat with it.
Man, we really jumped the shark on that. Made that so early. But it's worth it, because we have a second one lined up that is going to take a lot longer to do, I feel like.
The Cat Tana?
The Cat Tana.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I mean, yeah, it would take us a while if I wasn't looking directly at the Legend of the Five Rings starter kit on a shelf right next to me.
We'll push that off a few episodes, Jolt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty.
But yeah, that's our episode, and that's our cat. Thank you, Mr. Ray, for joining us. Would you like to plug anything for yourself while you're here?
Yeah. You can find me, as we said, on the podcast $2 Creature Feature. It's an actual play Monster of the Week podcast where I tell spooky stories. I always recommend starting with the second season and then going back to listen to the first, because as they often say in the podcast community, the first season stumbles so the second season can fly.
I didn't do that.
It's totally okay if you want to start with the first season. That's fine too. But the first and second season are 2 different campaigns, 2 different settings. So I get a whole lot better at telling stories by the second season. You can also find me on Twitter, if it's still a thing whenever this episode comes out, at Mr. Ray RPG, with an underscore between Mr. and Ray and RPG. You can find me on Hive, Tumblr at Mr. Ray RPG. Like, you should be able to just type that in and find me. And yeah, I think that's about it.
I'm going to try that right now.
I was just doing the same thing.
I hope that works. Oh, and I completely forgot. Like, if you want to play this game, you could probably find it on my itch, which is...
Hey, look, there he is.
Yay. But yeah, my itch is mr-ray.itch.io. I have several games there. You can see my quick descent into madness, because I went from Goons in Toyland to Dethrone the Divine to the very WandaVision-esque sitcom in the suburbs to Three Baddies and a Baby, where you play supervillains taking care of a child. And then that always goes down to my newest game, Apocalypse WoW, where you just play different versions of Owen Wilson trying to stop the apocalypse.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Thank you. I'm rather proud of that one.
Has Owen Wilson ever played a cat?
Yeah. No. No,
On.
that was Steve Zahn. I was thinking he was it in Stuart Little.
Oh.
Well, I'm looking at Owen Wilson's credits on Google right now.
I know he played a car, which I completely forgot about. That's like one of the more famous things he did.
He sure did play a car.
Yeah. I know he was in that movie with that dog.
Yeah.
He was in Marmaduke, but who was he in?
Wait, he was in Marmaduke? I was thinking of Marley and Me.
Oh, Owen Wilson was Marmaduke in that movie.
What?
Huh.
I googled Owen Wilson cat, and all I'm seeing are a bunch of cat videos of cats saying "wow" in Owen Wilson's voice.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, which, congratulations, internet. You absolutely meet my expectations in a good way.
Never ceases to amaze me. There's no way this is all of Owen Wilson's credits. There's no shot.
Yeah, that's one thing that really surprised me, is he has a ton of credits that I just completely forgot about.
Yeah.
Anyway,
anyways, yeah, that's a rabbit hole.
If we can't find a single movie with Owen Wilson as a cat, we probably can't have you back on to do Apocalypse WoW.
That's okay. You all are welcome to try out Apocalypse WoW with me anytime. It just may not be recorded.
That's fair.
That's fine. We can't make a cat in it, so I don't know about it on this show.
That's an old proverb, is, if you can't make a cat in a TTRPG, is it even worth playing?
That's the question this podcast aims to answer. But
one of them. The main question is, how many rules do you have to break to play as a cat in any RPG in question?
Exactly. Did we break any rules this time around?
Did we?
I don't know if we did.
I guess not.
Yeah, the book has stats for a cat, so it's not against the rules to play as a cat.
Yeah.
We're not.
Our cat technically was not born as a god. It was like, it just kind of gained the divine spark after being worshipped.
Yep.
Mhm.
So it didn't break that rule.
We used the stats for a cat.
Mhm.
Yeah. We followed the show's rules and the game's rules and found had no issues.
Wow. That's a rare occurrence. Usually we break at least one or two, but having 0 rules broken across the board, that's fun.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Not since, what was it? Power outage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, wait, did we have to break a rule? Yeah, we kind of broke rules as intended for Kaiju Incorporated.
Yeah. We didn't, there was a couple we didn't break any rules for our one-page one-shot.
Yeah, that's true.
But in terms of full-length episodes and fully focused games, it's been a minute.
Yeah. Austin, I think it's your turn to plug something.
Oh boy. I'm gonna plug in this toaster and make a bagel. No.
All right.
I don't have much to plug. Same stuff as usual. Twitter, if it hasn't burned down by the time this episode comes out. We say that every time, and so far, we're all right. I am on Tumblr now. Don't post over there a lot, but maybe if I got more followers that were not bots, I might think about it. And then, as always, I'm on Twitch. My streams are incredibly sporadic, but you can catch me there playing Pokemon, Destiny 2, other games. I want to get back into playing Ooblets. I never finished it, so.
Alright.
What about you, Joel?
As for me, you can follow me on Twitter and Tumblr. I'm on Twitter far less now, for probably obvious reasons.
Yep.
But yeah, so I'm getting more active on Tumblr. I know following people isn't a thing a lot of people do over there. You just kind of see each other's posts and reblog them and whatnot. I am there. It's Denala Lioge, my name spelled backwards. No one knows how to spell that though. So what you can do instead is go to jholland.start.page, and that will take you to a page that has all my links, including my portfolio and some other stuff aside from just social media. There's even a couple RPGs that I wrote. As for the show, you can find basically all of its links by going to literalcatpod.start.page. You will find links such as our email address, which is, as I believe we said before, literalcatpod@gmail.com, where you can email us pictures of cats, or challenges to make specific types of cats, even recommend games and whatnot. We'll take recommendations on either cats or games or both. If there's a specific type of cat you want to see in a specific game, let us know. We'll work something out. We've got our Twitter and Tumblr. Twitter, at this point, I'm basically only sharing updates on Twitter, and on Tumblr, well, kind of the same thing, but there's an Ask Me Anything button, so you can press that and ask us anything, and we'll answer questions about the show over on Tumblr. Then you'll have the YouTube channel, where we also upload podcast episodes. They are posted in video format and uploaded as premieres at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, so you can come and join a watch party, basically, with live chat. And that's 5:30 the day every episode goes out. Do not forget, if you have a moment, to rate and review the podcast on the podcatcher of your choice. If your podcatcher does not have that feature, then you could always go to podchaser.com, which I check at least once a week for other reasons, but mostly trying to find new shows, like $2 Creature Feature. I think that may be where I found it, actually. But anyway, and then finally, you can access all the character sheets over there, including this one from this episode. If it's not up by time you're listening to this episode, it probably will be by the end of that week. And I think that's it for us. Did I leave anything out?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
All right. Thank you again, Mr. Ray, for joining us. Austin, you got a pun?
Around this time of year, a lot of people get caught up in the rat race of, going out, getting presents, everything, and just take some time to laze around, take a few little cat naps, treat yourself a little bit. Not really a pun, but
So instead of the rat race, you need to embrace the cat race.
Yes, the cat race. Thank you.
There you go.
So, that's all good and well. There's just one problem, which is this episode will come out in the second half of January.
Oof. You know what? It works. New year, new you, new rat race, I guess. You know what? Okay. How about this? Your New Year's resolution? Take more naps. Treat yourself a little better. And don't think, I'm being lazy. Cats sleep like 90% of the day. And guess what? If you want to sleep an extra 5% of your day, do it.
Exactly. Not everything needs to be done right meow.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for listening.
We'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
grab some popcorn and find your seats. Monster of the Week Actual Play Podcast $2 Creature Feature returns for Season 2 on February 22nd. This season, we'll see a whole new crew of hunters confronting the mysteries at the heart of the town of Jupiter Hollow.
I'm Megan Murphy. I'm playing Zelda Wardwell, the Flake. Oh, wait, I'm supposed to protect people too. That's like what heroes do.
I'm Nyelder, playing Eric Ashrin, the Crooked.
Let's just say I don't ask questions that involve textbooks. I ask questions that involve cash.
I'm Laura McMillan, and I'm playing Tammy Jo Marple, your hometown home finder. I'm here to make deals with the good people of Jupiter Hollow, but I already made a deal of my own. Tammy Jo is the monstrous.
And I'm Mr. Ray. I play everything that tries to kill these people. And if you enjoyed our first season, you ain't seen nothing yet.
New episodes every other Tuesday, wherever podcasts are found.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.